So this is my meadow, early October. We're about to be out of the growing season for this region. I am in North Alabama, so our growing season goes a little bit longer. And this is my pollinator bed, or is my pollinator bed. One of them, when it has fully reseeded and all the blooms are off, I will cut it back, of course, trim it back. This was another one over here where you can see my bee balm, and I had the marsh rose. I still have some blue azure sage at the very end coming out right here. So most of these plants I ordered from Prairie Moon or the Growers Exchange. The Growers Exchange is a family business that sells herbs, so I'll link them. They sell all types of herbs, but also some native plants. There's a cobweb right up here, so I'm gonna just have to dip under it because I don't want to disturb my spiders. I actually really like spiders. And you can see that I started hacking all this back, and I did this with the weed whacker. Selectively left the stuff. You see that little downy lobelia right there, the purple flowers. I left what was blooming, the goldenrod. I have a couple kinds of goldenrod. I left some of the gamagrass because it's beautiful. It just sort of naturalized or just put itself there where it needed to be. The songbirds like that, and we still have a few migrating songbirds. Everyone talks about, oh, I saw a goldfinch. We had numerous goldfinches in my yard. Our yard here. We had the indigo bunting, one of my loves. So it was quite amazing. Amazing summer in the meadow. But you can see how I left up the long leaf sunflower right there. And this is just a little bit after 8 o'clock. So I tried to time it to get the sun streaming down so you could really see everything, and how we just selectively are taking everything down as it seeds. It got very long in the tooth. This is just an aster daisy fleabane type, but the bees love it. And this is my favorite. I'm pulling a brain fart right here, so forgive me, but this is my favorite goldenrod. I love the way that it just hangs, and it's good in, if you want to do like a native container garden, that's good to put on the sides drooping off. And of course you've seen my woolly bean and my blue mist. That's one of the previous videos where I talked about finding both of those and putting both of those in a container. I just found those on the side of the road. So there's another little bundle of it. So we're in a drought, a flash drought that the southeast is now getting because of climate change and things we've done to the ecosystems, the environment. And that's quite sad. So we went ahead and took down the meadow. A lot of the grasses had kind of gotten out of hand. We still had invasive stuff in here. And that's something that we have to worry about. It's constantly fighting against the European blackberry brambles and that privet. The privet is something I pull up by hand when I first see it coming up in the spring. And dog fennel is not necessarily, I mean, it's a native species, but dog fennel can get out of hand, so I have to make sure the dog fennel doesn't get out of hand. You can see I keep some growing over there on the property line. It is native, but it will get out of hand. So will American burnweed. So I pull up all the American burnweed. But there's the beautiful sun, and this is this is the spot that I see out my bedroom window. So when the meadow was at its height, it was beautiful to watch the sunrise over it through those trees. And the sunset is beautiful too, because the sunset's right across, and it has this beautiful pink hue off those hickory and oak trunks, and it looks so pretty coming off the flowers. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like. The last video I did, you could tell it was in September. It was getting too long because we still do have like ryegrass and stuff that I've got to make sure that we put more plugs in, so next year we can try to have more flowers consistently. This, of course, course, is my bed. I have a little water bird feeder there for the birds, mainly hummingbirds, like small birds. And then I put these little clay pot things, terracotta. I fill them with water for the bees this summer when it got in the late 90s and up past 100, 101, the heat index. And so that's good to put out water for the insects that you're trying to help. You can see over there, there's the I'm sorry, that's not Joe Pye, that's the camphor weed, that pink stuff behind my hickory. And that's some boneset coming in front of it. And see, we left those. Another thing we've had to be careful of are fire ants, of course. See, we left the camphor weed and the boneset. And of course, right here was where the tornado took down my hickory, my oldest hickory. But we left this. And there's some goldenrod right there, a couple other bundles of camphor weed. Along the property line, our property goes back past that oak, but it's not, the land is not like a straight line, so it's hard for me to describe right now, but we're going to clear out a little bit more over there, obviously, and just keep it down because it's not good to have all that underbrush when you have droughts. Of course, there's my weeping willow. You may not be able to see it, but we have started preparing everything for fall out here. And of course, we're on Noccalula Mountain, and this is a backyard meadow on Noccalula. And I will be putting in more plugs this fall. So plugs actually meaning like instead of putting down seed, putting in rooted plants like milkweed and stuff like that. I love that bundle of sunflowers I see. It's narrow leaf native sunflower I see right outside my bedroom window, but I want more like that. That's more of the stuff that I'm going to put in for late fall, and more of this really pretty, as you can see right here, it goes really good with the gamagrass, that trailing goldenrod. And the gamagrass is just really pretty because it looks like a lot of the ornamental stuff. So leaving a little bit for songbirds and deer to make them feel comfortable, it's not a bad idea. But I just wanted to share what a meadow looks like when you kind of start to very selectively take it down. Like I said, after the tornado August 3rd, it got a little bit out of hand because we had a lot of trees down. We had over 100 trees down on this little road, but none came down on a house. And everyone's okay. I don't ever want to see a tornado like that again. And it shouldn't have been on a mountain, but the things we've done to the environment, we're going to see a lot more storms like that. I hope that you cherish nature, you cherish yourself, and you have a beautiful day.